Excuse me, monsieur. Pierre asked me to inform you that a passenger left us, so his room is yours. Monsieur Bouc instructed that your things be transferred to room 202 during dinner. You will be more comfortable in first class.
It is true what you say. Thank you,
Mr. Fauché, monsieur.
Please, my friend, join me. I have taken the liberty of ordering you your lobster.
Thank you. It appears our fellow passengers are all gathered here again tonight.
Ah. If I had but the pen of a Balzac, I would depict this scene.
Oh, it is an idea, that.
Ah, you agree. It has not been done, I think, and yet it lends itself to romance, my friend. All around us are people of all classes, of all nationalities, of all ages. For 3 days, these people, these strangers to one another, are brought together. They sleep and eat under one roof. They cannot get away from each other. At the end of the journey, they part. They go their several ways, never perhaps to see each other again.
Certainly it interests us, inviting us to watch and wonder about their lives.
Ah, I know you, my friend. Even now, your mind, it is at work. Let us test it. For example, what do you make of those two? Mamma mia, you can feel the power of an engine. We climb into the mountains with ease. I know something about the power, and this baby has it in spades.
There's something special about a train. I'll give you that. I sell toys, and model trains are one of our biggest items. And not just for children, either.
You sell model cars too?
Sure, but give me a train any day.
Oh, my friend. What do you have against the cars? Now I work at Fortuna in Italy as a spokesperson. We are producing the next generation of electric cars, the Fortuna Firenze. Like the city, it is beautiful. We got the competitors looking over their shoulders so much, they're going to hit something.
Didn't mean to be insulting. It's just that there's something magical about a train.
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. I do not think that's the right answer. I must admit I'm not right this time. This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth. No, not good. Et voilà. It is as much in the inflection as it is in the words. He believes in winning. Also, that he is the one who will win.
You are a magician.
Oh, it is not a parlor trick, my friend. It is simply observation.
I was visiting my daughter. She works at the American Embassy in Istanbul. I told her she'd never find a husband there. Since I wanted to see Paris on my way home, she told me I should take this high-class train. I can't wait to see Paris. It looks beautiful in the movies, but it couldn't be more beautiful than Schenectady in the good old US of A. That's where I'm living now. And you, Miss Debenham, was it? Where do you hail from?
I was born in the UK.
Oh, that's in England, isn't it? What do you do for a living?
I teach English to children in other countries.
I see. Oh, I wish I spoke a foreign language. My daughter speaks several languages. Let me tell you about her work. It's very important.
I'm right again. That happens to me. There is much you can learn about someone just by observing them and listening. For example, that lady is reserved. She reveals little. She is self-contained. Some secret prompts her to allow her dinner companion to carry the conversation. I confess, in this case, what I witnessed in Istanbul suggests more, but I will respect her privacy.
You will always amaze me. My friend, this is one of the best desserts I have ever eaten.
You have always had the sweet tooth.
But it is a masterpiece. I can't understand how the dessert can be so good. I would love to know what the recipe is. I couldn't tell what flavor the ice cream is.
It looks like lemon. Look at the zest.
Yes, I wasn't sure what that was. What is the red fruit?
It looks like a raspberry.
You have a good eye, Poirot. The biscuit is the foundation of the dessert. All else is built upon it. What do you think?
The cocoa color clearly announces itself. Chocolate mousse.
I am embarrassed. I may not recognize the ingredients, but I know what I like when I taste it. Poirot, I am embarrassed to ask you a great favor.
My friend, I am on this train due to the great favor you have done me. How may I assist you?
This dessert is sublime. If only I had the recipe. Unfortunately, the pastry chef, Miss Nielsen, she will guard her secrets. But you, my friend, I am sure you could make her confess.
You wish me to persuade the pastry chef to give up her recipe?
You who are the expert at interrogation.
Book, it is a dessert.
It is the pinnacle of desserts. You, my friend, who, as you say, are on this train, I blush to remind you.
Fine, you win. Again, what wouldn't I do for you, my friend?
Oh, thank you, Poirot. Good luck.
Good evening, mademoiselle.
Good evening, sir. How can I help you?
That was a magnificent dessert you served us tonight. I wanted to tell you personally how much both Monsieur Bouc and I enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, sir.
In fact, it is so good. Monsieur Bouc insists on knowing how you made it.
Oh, sir, I'm sorry. You must know a chef never gives away their recipes. But, well, you helped with the refrigerator, and without space in it for me, there would have been no dessert. Very well. To prepare tonight's dessert, first I melt sugar to make caramel. Then I spread this caramel to make tuiles. Between two tuiles, I add a small scoop of lemon ice cream, and I put the whole thing on a strawberry crown.
Poirot, you are suspicious even now. The pastry chef gave up her prized recipe a little too easily. I sense she wasn't entirely honest with me. Thank you for sharing your recipe with me, but I doubt those are strawberries you're using.
Oops. You have a good eye, Monsieur Poirot. Very well. What fruit do you think I used?
You used raspberries, not strawberries. I'm not fooled.
You're right. Mr. Bouc, he couldn't tell the difference. Let's move on to the bottom part of the dessert.
My favorite part of the dessert.
First, I melted some butter. I crumbled pieces of chocolate into the butter. Then I placed the mix in a circular mold. Finally, I let the whole thing cool down to let it harden.
That does not prove she's lying. It's certainly not chocolate that you've crumbled.
I see you do have an excellent palate. Do you know what ingredients I used?
A clever pastry chef might mix crushed biscuits with butter to create this delicious base.
That's it. You're getting closer to the entire recipe.
Closer? I've caught murderers with less difficulty than this.
I'll give you one last challenge. I'm sure you will be able to figure out the order I mix my ingredients in. If you can, you will have earned my recipe.
Mademoiselle, solving the murder of Roger Ackroyd was easier than this. No, not good. I must admit I'm not right this time. This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth. Think, Poirot, that is not a good answer. That's the right answer.
As promised, my recipe is yours. Give me 5 minutes to write it down for you.
Thank you. I am in your debt. I can take advantage of this moment to resume my little observations.
I made a lot of progress on the expenses last night, sir. I should be done by tomorrow morning.
You're supposed to be a fast worker, Hector.
Sorry, sir. Working here is not as comfortable as in our office in Boston.
You're lucky to ride in a train like this.
That was easy.
Did you enjoy the meal?
I'm not used to meals like this.
You do not have good restaurants in Kenya?
Actually, we do. This isn't the 1930s.
I did not mean to offend.
You didn't like the meal?
The lobster, it was undercooked, and the potatoes were too dry.
I expect, being Princess Dragomirov's assistant, you must be used to eating well.
Cooking is an art. You do not need to wear the chef's hat to be an artist.
What is your favorite dish?
Currywurst. It is a specialty of mine.
I must admit I'm... Et voilà.
Here you are, sir. My recipe. Please tell Mr. Book he should not expect my recipes for the other desserts.
Thank you very much, mademoiselle. I know he will sincerely appreciate the gesture, and I will make certain he gets the message.
Poirot, you were gone such a long time.
It proved more challenging than I expected.
This is wonderful. Did it require the use of your little grey cells?
More the exercise of my little taste buds.
Thank you so much, my friend. Eat your dessert. You've earned it.
Good evening. My name is Ratchet. I think that I have the pleasure of speaking to Mr. Hercule Poirot, is that so?
You have been correctly informed, monsieur.
Your exploits are well known on my side of the Atlantic. In my country, we come to the point quickly. Mr. Poirot, I want you to take on a job for me. Are you interested in earning a lot of money?
My clientele, monsieur, is limited nowadays. I undertake very few cases.
Why, naturally. I understand that. But this, Mr. Poirot, means big money. Big money.
This is wrong. I must admit I'm... That was easy. What is it you wish me to do for you, Monsieur Ratchet?
Mr. Poirot, I am a rich man. A very rich man. Men in that position have enemies. I have an enemy.
Monsieur, in my experience, when a man is in a position to have, as you say, enemies, then it does not usually resolve itself into one enemy only.
Yes, I appreciate that point. Enemy or enemies, it doesn't matter. What does matter is my safety. My life has been threatened, Mr. Poirot. Now, I'm a man who can take pretty good care of himself, but as I look at it, a little insurance wouldn't hurt. And remember, big money.
I regret, monsieur, that I cannot oblige you.
What's wrong with my proposition?
If you will forgive me for being personal, I do not like your face, Mr. Ratchet. Now, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to finish my coffee peacefully.
A nightcap, Monsieur Poirot?
A cup of coffee, Monsieur Fauché. Then I will retire to my new compartment.
I am sure you will find it to be most comfortable.
We have stopped?
Yes, sir. Belgrade Station. If you'd like to go out and get some fresh air, now is the time. The train leaves at 9:15.
No, I see that it is snowing. I will not seek out the fresh air.
Probably a wise decision. May I suggest a chocolate to accompany your coffee? It is produced by my father, the best chocolatier in Switzerland.
I would never refuse a chocolate with such high recommendation.
I know you will enjoy it, and please let me know if there is anything else you require.
No. That was easy. Everything was perfect. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Is there anything you require, monsieur?
No, merci.
Why, I thought you'd left us. You said you were getting off at Belgrade.
You misunderstood me.
But, man, your baggage, it's gone.
It has been moved into another compartment, that is all.
Oh, I see. I wish you a good night, Monsieur Poirot.
Good night. Monsieur Ratchet seems very upset. Ah, finally a real bed fit for a king or a very tired detective.
Monsieur Ratchet?
Ce n'est rien, je me suis trompé.
Good night, madam.
The American lady?
Yes, don't worry. You'll know how Mrs. Hubbard is. Imagine to yourself the time I have had with her. She insists, but insists, that there is a man in her compartment. Just imagine it, monsieur. In a space of this size, where would he conceal himself? I argue with her. I point out that it is impossible. She insists. She woke up and there was a man there. And how, I ask, did he get out? And leave the door bolted behind him? But she will not listen to reason.
That one does not leave time to listen. The train has stopped, Mr. Michel?
We have run into a snowdrift. Heaven knows how long we shall be here. I remember once being snowed in for 7 days.
Where are we?
Between Winkowski and Brod.
Oh la la. It's time for me to go back to bed.
I wish you a good night, monsieur. Or what is left of it.
The train is still stuck and the snow continues to fall. I should have taken an airplane. Well, I must make the best of it and join the other passengers for breakfast. The train still hasn't left.
This delay is intolerable. I am supposed to be demonstrating the Firenze in Paris in 2 days.
My daughter said it would be the easiest way in the world. Just sit on the train until I got to Paris. And now we may be here for days, and my boat sails the day after tomorrow. How am I going to catch it now? I can't even send an email to cancel it. I'm just too mad to talk about it.
My colleagues were to meet me in Paris. They will wonder what has happened to me. I can get no words to them.
A beautiful piano. What a luxury. Mademoiselle, you are not concerned about the train stopping?
What can one do?
Indeed, this does not make the train move. You have great strength to remain calm at a time like this.
I know one far, far stronger than I.
And that is?
Well, that old lady, for instance. You have probably noticed her. She just has to lift her little finger and ask for something in a polite voice, and the whole train runs.
It runs also for my friend Monsieur Bouc, but that is because he is a director of the line, not because he has a masterful character.
You don't have to have a strong will when you have power. But I suspect I did not need to tell you that, Mr.
Poirot.
Mr. Poirot.
Good morning, Mr. Fauchet. You have early customers, I see.
Yes, I am stuck serving here as well at breakfast. Everyone is impatient. They keep complaining that the train is not moving. As if I could get out and push it.
It's too early for me to order a boxcar. That is the appropriate drink, I believe.
A gin triple sec, lemon and grenadine mix. A drink for a train indeed.
But not perhaps for my breakfast. I think I will settle for an omelette.
Good luck, sir. Miss Nielsen is helping to serve in the dining car.
Good morning, madam. The snow is a predicament, is it not?
I am Russian. Snow is no stranger to me.
Ah, the accent. Would it be St. Petersburg?
You are very perceptive. Monsieur Poirot, is it not?
And may I take it I have the honor of addressing Princess Natalia Dragomirov?
We dispense with the old titles these days. My husband, all of my past, was taken from me by these Stalinists. When they were gone, I became director of the St. Petersburg Museum of Antiquities to restore and preserve what I can of my country's history.
Still, the delay must be vexing.
If I must be late for my appointments, then they will wait.
I know that I would certainly wait, madame. It has been my extreme pleasure to make your acquaintance, madame.
Au revoir, Monsieur Poirot.
How long are we expected to be stranded here?
It won't do much good complaining to me. That fellow there with the moustache, he may know something.
Excusez-moi, sir.
Yes?
Monsieur Bouc asks for you to join him in compartment 203.
Look here, Poirot. Can you tell us anything?
I can tell you the snow, it will not move aside on its own.
Of course, but you obviously have some influence with Bouc.
I am going to see him now. I will ask him if he has any information.
Ah, my good friend, come in. We have need of you.
What has occurred?
A passenger lies dead in his bed, stabbed.
A passenger? Which passenger?
In there. He's an American, a man called Ratchet. It was his valet masterman who was worried that Mr. Ratchet was not awake yet. Pierre Michel, the conductor, decided to break in and found the body.
I see. Well, my friend, I think it is best not to touch anything and wait for the police to arrive.
Oh, I tried to call the police, but there is no cell tower for many kilometers. We could be stuck in the snow for hours. The murderer is with us. On the train, now! The sooner we catch him, the sooner we'll be out of danger. The Dr. Constantine is already examining the body.
Mon ami, this is not a missing train ticket. We must follow procedure. We must wait for the police to secure the crime scene.
Please, Poirot. I will take full responsibility.
Book, you ask. Well, if we cannot contact the outside world, then... Oh, you are going to drive me crazy. In truth, this problem intrigues me. I was reflecting not half an hour ago that many hours of boredom lay ahead whilst we are stuck here. And now, a problem lies ready to my hand.
You accept then?
C'est entendu. You place the matter in my hands.
Mr. Poirot, I am Dr. Constantine.
Forgive me, Doctor. You are a medical examiner?
No, but I have assisted in post-mortems at Nairobi Hospital, where I am a teaching fellow.
I am familiar with your excellent institution.
I do not intend to perform a full autopsy, but a preliminary examination should be of some use.
Of course. May I have a look? Then we can compare notes.
Please, if you need any help, I won't be far away.
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. This is wrong. But I'm never far from the... No, not good. I must admit I'm not right this time. Think, Poirot. I must admit This is wrong. I do not think that's the right answer. No, no, no. This is wrong. No, 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 not good. I must admit I'm... Et voilà. I'm sure I will find some interesting things inside. I'm sure I will find some... This phone was deliberately smashed. Did it belong to a ratchet? I'll take photos. Last night, Monsieur Ratchet said he takes precautions. I see now what he meant. He knew he was in danger and wanted to be ready, yet it was no use to him. I will leave it here for the police.
As you see, the victim has been stabbed many times. Several alone would have been fatal.
Yes, I agree. An attack most savage.
I will, of course, prepare a complete report on my findings.
Thank you. The watch is broken. The hands are stopped at 1:15 a.m. One would expect that to be the time when the attack occurred. A handkerchief. There's a letter H embroidered on it. Where can the killer have gone? The snow is falling only lightly this morning. The murderer would have left tracks in the snow if he had jumped out the window. I'm sorry, Doctor, but I must question you.
Of course. I must be considered under suspicion like everyone else.
May I know your movements last night?
I share compartment 101 with Mr. Booth. He would not stop talking about his beloved train. I listened to him for hours talking about his Orient Express.
My friend Book will no doubt confirm this. Did you know the victim?
Not at all. I noticed him last night at dinner, but I did not pay much attention.
Did you touch anything in here this morning?
I checked for a pulse. There was none. Rigor mortis had commenced. The body was cool to the touch. I touched nothing else.
What can you tell me about the victim?
He died from multiple stab wounds of varying angles and depth. More than one would have been fatal. I would place the time of death roughly between midnight and 2 a.m. With more time, I hope I can be more precise.
I assume the open window complicates matters.
Indeed. Conditions are not perfect.
Thank you for your help, Doctor. This door communicates with compartment 204. The latch is open on this side. wonder what could be in this photo. A box of sleeping pills. For Daisy. Interesting. That was easy. Expensive clothing, recently laundered. Not exactly the reading material one would expect of a man like Ratchet. Not very surprising. Ratchet had an appointment he will never keep. A meeting place on the back of a postcard. Someone with the initials A.W. Unusual letter, this. I shouldn't leave until I have finished inspecting the crime scene. The chain lock is broken. Monsieur Michel told me that he broke the chain on the door to get into the room. I shouldn't leave until I have finished inspecting the crime scene. So, the murderer must have exited through Madame Hubbard's room. I'm right again. That happened. That's the right answer. I shouldn't leave until I have finished inspecting the crime scene. I must admit I'm not right this time. I can't imagine Ratchet taking a sleeping pill if he feared for his life. Et voilà. That was easy. I think I've seen everything I need at the moment. I'm counting on you to finish your analysis.
I'll have a more detailed report for you as soon as I can.
So, Poirot, did you find anything out?
It's a bit early for the handcuffs, my friend. Even for Hercule Poirot. Do not worry, mon ami. I believe our culprit has no plans to strike again. Monsieur Ratchet was the target. Of that I am convinced. Tell me, Book, how did you spend last night?
This is a joke, I hope. Don't you trust your old friend?
My friend, calm yourself. I must hear your story in order to corroborate other accounts.
Ah, naturally. Let me see. I went to my compartment after dinner. Dr. Constantine was already there. We talked about his career. He's a Cambridge man, you know. After university, he returned to his country and has done much good there. He was so interested in the Orient Express. I told him all the anecdotes I know. I'm not certain when we fell asleep, but it was very late.
Here is what I have found out. Monsieur Ratchet was stabbed many times. I also found threatening letters in his safe. He had a loaded gun under his pillow, so he was on guard, ready to defend himself. However, there was an empty glass with white residue at the bottom. I suspect a barbiturate. Perhaps he was forced to take it. In any case, I am certain he was unconscious, unable to defend himself. I also found several other items at the crime scene, possibly related to the murder. They must be investigated.
By all means, Poirot. As fast as you can.
I also found liquid for an electronic cigarette, but I could not find a vape. This might belong to the murderer.
This criminal is an amateur.
I need a list of the passengers with their compartment numbers.
Pierre Michel will have it.
I must interview the rest of the passengers and the staff.
I'll be in the bar car if you need me. We are hours late. Soon I hope help will arrive.
Good morning, madam. I am Hercule Poirot.
Caroline Hubbard. What can I do for you, Mr. Poirot?
I am the bearer of unfortunate news.
It's obvious with all the commotion that something has happened.
Madame Hubbard, I'm afraid your neighbor, Monsieur Ratchet, was murdered last night.
Oh my god! I knew it! I knew it!
I would like to ask you some questions, but first, may I inspect your room?
Of course, yes, you must.
I must admit I'm not right. I do not think, Poirot. This is wrong. No. Think, Poirot. My little gray cells did not let me. Here is a jacket button. It bears the logo of the Orient Express. This door connects to Monsieur Ratchet's compartment. It was latched on this side. The luxury of the Orient Express is present in every detail. Another golden moustache to treasure. Madame, please tell me about last night.
The murderer was right here in my compartment. I woke up. All in the dark it was. I was just so scared I couldn't scream. I pressed the call button. I pressed and pressed. I heard footsteps running in the corridor, then a knock on my door. "Come in," I screamed. And I switched on the lights at the same time. And would you believe it? There wasn't a soul there.
You think he went back into the other compartment?
How do I know where he went? I had my eyes shut tight. The conductor came in. I told the man what had happened, and he didn't seem to believe me. I asked him to search the room, but he found nothing. I told the conductor to look at the door between the compartments, and sure enough, it wasn't bolted. Well, I soon saw to that. I told him to bolt it, then and there.
How is it you didn't bolt the door between the two compartments?
But I had. Well, as a matter of fact, I asked that Swedish lady, Olsen, Greta, if it was bolted, and she said it was.
How was it you could not see for yourself?
I was already in bed, and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was.
What time was it when you asked her to do this for you?
Oh, it must have been around 10:30 or 10:45 p.m. She'd come along to see if I had an aspirin. But instead of opening my door, she opened Mr. Ratchet's door by mistake. He said something quite rude, like, "Not a chance, lady, you're too old." It shocked her. She came in. I told her where to find the aspirin, and she got it out of my toiletry bag. Poor girl, she didn't have a good night.
The same could be said for Monsieur Ratchet. It appears Mademoiselle Olsen may be the last person to see Ratchet alive. Is this your handkerchief?
No, not at all.
Yet it is embroidered with an initial H, like your name.
I don't care. It's not mine, and I would certainly never buy something so impractical as that frilly thing.
Are you a smoker?
No, definitely not. Filthy habit.
I found a jacket button on your table. It looks like it belongs to a train employee. The button bears the logo of the Orient Express.
Well, of course the conductor came in last night, but he didn't go near that table.
Still, it's a safe bet that it belongs to the conductor. I'll check his jacket later, to be sure. I have not finished inspecting your room. If you don't mind, let's see if Mrs. Hubbard was telling the truth about the latch of the connecting door. This hook is probably where Mrs. Hubbard hung her toiletry bag. I can see the latch very well from here, even with the toiletry bag attached. I'll have to clear that up with Mrs. Hubbard. Mrs. Hubbard, you told me that the door connecting the two compartments was closed, correct?
Yes, it was, as I told you. I was already in bed and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was. That's why I asked Miss Olsen to check if it was closed.
Are you sure everything you've told me is accurate, Madame Hubbard?
Of course. I have an excellent memory.
Mrs. Hubbard, I tested putting your toiletry bag on the door hook as you told me. From your bed, you can easily see the latch on the door. The toiletry bag does not hide the latch at all.
Are you saying I'm lying? It may have been stuck somehow in a different position, or I may not have seen it in the darkness. Or I didn't think to look, you irritating man.
Details matter, madame. A man has been most savagely murdered. You will excuse me if I attempt to separate the truth from the false.
Forget my toiletry bag and focus on who entered my compartment. Probably after killing Mr. Ratchet.
Madame Hubbard is a force to be reckoned with, but I suspect I'm not done with her. Thank you for your assistance, madame. Monsieur Michel, I must ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
I will do everything I can to help.
First of all, tell me about yourself.
Very well. My name, as you know, is Pierre Michel. I am from Calais. I've been with the company for over 15 years.
Thank you. I do not think that's the... I'm right again. Can you provide me with a listing of the passengers and their rooms, please?
Yes, certainly.
Are you a smoker?
Indeed.
Do you smoke e-cigarettes?
No. Tobacco only.
I would like to reconstruct with your help the events of last night. Monsieur Ratchet retired to bed. When?
Almost immediately after dinner, sir. Actually, before we left Belgrade.
Did anybody go into his compartment after that?
His valet, monsieur. Monsieur Masterman. And then his secretary, the young American gentleman. Monsieur McQueen.
And that is the last time you saw or heard of him?
No, monsieur. You forget that Monsieur Ratchet rang his bell around 12:40 a.m., soon after we had stopped. I knocked at the door, but he called out in French, "Ce n'est rien, je me suis trompé." I then left to answer another bell that had just rung.
Where were you at 1:15 a.m.?
I was sitting on my little seat at the end of the car, facing up the corridor.
Are you sure?
I left a little after 1 a.m. to speak about the snow with my colleague Jean in the bar car. I came back later. There was a call. I remember speaking to you.
Indeed, I remember. Carry on.
It was the American lady, Madame Hubbard. She thought she saw a man in her compartment. Then, around 1:50 a.m., I made the bed for Monsieur Ratchet's secretary, Monsieur McQueen. He had spent the evening talking with the English Captain Arbuthnot. At 2 a.m., I returned to my place and stayed there until dawn.
What is the last station where we stopped?
Vinkovsky.
Could someone have come on board?
Possibly. I was very busy. Owing to the weather, we were a few minutes late. We left at 12:10 a.m.
I found a button from an Orient Express staff jacket. Did you lose one by any chance?
No, monsieur. As you can see, I have all my buttons. It is not mine.
That's the right answer. While Monsieur Michel was chatting with Monsieur Fauchet in the bar car between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., the murderer could have escaped Ratchet's room without being seen. My little gray cells did not... Very well, I choose to go this way. According to the information I have, this is a solid choice. Monsieur Edward Masterman, I believe. May I ask you some questions?
I can barely talk. I have a terrible toothache.
We have a doctor on board the train. Perhaps...
I do not need a doctor. I use essential oils. If you can find my flask of clove oil in my box, I would be grateful.
Fine, if you insist. I will help you. By the smell, I think that the jojoba oil spilled on the other bottles, leaving their labels illegible. I must find another way to find which one is Masterman's toothache remedy. The weighing scale is soaked in jojoba oil. It's unusable. Ah, this old scale will do the job. To start, I must first arrange the vials from the lightest to the heaviest. Now that I know the order, I think that I can easily guess which one is the clove oil. I don't think this is the remedy. I don't think this is the remedy. Here is Monsieur Masterman's remedy. Here is your remedy. I hope it will help.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, I can finally speak without too much pain. I'm ready to answer your questions.
You are Monsieur Ratchet's valet?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Were you told that your employer was murdered?
Yes, sir. A very shocking occurrence.
I do not think, Poirot. I do not think... I'm right again. At what hour did you last see Monsieur Ratchet?
It must have been around 9 p.m., sir. That or a little after. I went to bed around 10:30 p.m., same as the person who shares my room, Mr. Foscarelli. He almost immediately began snoring.
What did you do then?
I read, sir, and I spent a while soothing my toothache with clove oil and listening to the snoring.
Did you hear anything during the night?
Yes, my roommate's snoring.
Are you a smoker?
Yes, sir. I have a cigarette now and then to relax.
Tell me about your employer, Monsieur Ratchet.
I've been working for him for 9 months. I should not wish to speak ill of the dead, but he was Not a gentleman, sir.
Did you know that he had enemies?
Yes, sir. I heard him discussing some threatening letters, sir, with Mr. McQueen.
Did he mention these letters to you?
He had been reading a letter when I came in. He asked me if I was the one who put it in his compartment. I told him that I had done no such thing, and he should report it to the police at the next station.
How did he respond?
He laughed, sir.
You're joking.
I do not joke, sir.
Forgive me, I can see you do not. Was he taking sleeping pills?
Always when traveling by train, sir. He said he couldn't sleep otherwise. Last night he asked me to give him 2. I did so, along with a glass of water. He dissolved them in the water.
Did you see him drink the water?
No, sir. I left right after I gave him the pills.
Was Monsieur Ratchet a smoker?
No. He finds smokers disgusting.
Can you tell me again why you gave sleeping pills to Monsieur Ratchet?
Yes, I gave him the pills because when he takes the train, he has trouble sleeping. The letter must have worried him. He specifically asked me to prepare the sleeping pills. I didn't see him drink the water with the pills in it.
Monsieur, I believe you are not telling me the truth.
What? How can you say that?
He received threatening letters. One, it seems, last night. Did you know he had a gun under his pillow? And even asked for my help to watch over him? I find it strange that he asked you for sleeping pills when he was afraid for his life and prepared to defend himself.
I'm sure I don't know. Maybe to calm his nerves, maybe out of habit.
It makes no sense.
Wait, please. Isn't it possible that Mr. Ratchet asked me to prepare the pills, but didn't plan to drink them for some reason?
It is possible. But I am a student of character, monsieur, and the Monsieur Ratchet you describe is not the man I met.
If you'll excuse me, my toothache is getting worse again.
I'm afraid this time you must prepare your own clove oil. I believe I am addressing Monsieur Hector McQueen.
Guilty as charged.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, sorry. Just an expression. My father used to say it.
You must have had an interesting childhood. I am Hercule Poirot.
No need to be modest. You're a detective.
You are Monsieur Ratchet's secretary?
I am Mr. Ratchet's secretary. Just over a year. I mainly take care of translating certain texts for him. Mr. Ratchet only speaks English.
Prepare yourself for a shock. Your employer, Monsieur Ratchet, is dead.
So they got him after all.
What do you mean? You are assuming he was murdered?
I know he had enemies.
What can you tell me about Monsieur Ratchet?
He was American. He was an antiques dealer. I don't know much more. Mr. Ratchet never talked about himself or his life, but I think Ratchet wasn't his real name. And he left the United States to run away from something, or someone.
Yes?
He started getting letters, threatening letters.
Do you still have them?
I have one.
Did you know that Monsieur Ratchet had asked for my help?
Asked you? No, I didn't know.
He knew he was in danger. When did you last see him?
Last night around 10 o'clock, I should say.
Did you like your employer, Monsieur McQueen?
No, I did not. He was, I'm sure, a cruel and dangerous man.
Can you tell me your movements last night?
I went back to my compartment. I read a little. In Belgrade, I went out onto the platform to smoke, but it was cold. I quickly went back in. I then went to Mr. Ratchet's compartment to take some dictation for him. I left around 10 o'clock. I saw Captain Arbuthnot. We ended up chatting in my compartment. Then we went out on the platform to quickly stretch our legs at Vinkovsky. He left around 2 o'clock.
Thank you. I will need to check Monsieur McQueen's story with Captain Arbuthnot. I found a diary in Monsieur Ratchet's safe. Did you know about it?
I kept a business appointment book, but I know he had a personal diary as well. That looks like it.
Are you a smoker?
Yes, I smoke cigarettes. I've tried to quit, but no luck.
Can you give me this letter, please?
Of course, here it is.
Was Monsieur Ratchet a smoker?
No, he hated the smell of smoke.
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. I must admit I'm not right this time. No, not good. I do not think that's the right answer. Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. No, not good. I must admit I'm not right this time. This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth. Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. No, not good. The murderer may have impersonated Ratchet by calling Monsieur Michel to make it seem that Ratchet was still alive at 12:37 a.m. My little gray cells did not. That was easy. Very well, I choose to go this way. This is the most likely answer.
So, my friend, have you found our killer?
Not yet, but I will tell you what I have learned.
Please.
Our assassin could have gotten on the train at Vinkovsky disguised as a conductor, entered Ratchet's room and killed him. Then he walked out through Madame Hubbard's connecting door, where he lost a button from his jacket. He had to wait for Monsieur Michel to be absent. He waited too long. The train had left the station.
He was trapped aboard.
Indeed. He had opened the window to make it look that he'd escaped that way. However, if he waited until the train stopped again due to snow, his footprints would have been found.
The murderer is still among us, on the train.
There's a problem with the second-class toilets.
What now?
All morning passengers have been complaining that the door is locked, so I went to check. I knocked, but no one answered. I didn't think I should open it without speaking to you first.
You did well, Monsieur Michel. Lead the way.
I used my master key.
But who is she? Is she alive?
She is breathing.
Then if she isn't dead, isn't she our murderer?
That, my friend, is what we must find out. The ticket reads Joanna Locke, traveling in compartment 105. Miss, can you hear me? She's breathing. Her pulse is strong. There is no sign of physical violence. This woman is sleeping very soundly. This woman is sound asleep. Given her location, I would say she has been drugged and deposited here.
Well, at least it's not another murder on my train.
The train is, of course, full.
Monsieur, the list I gave you indicates that Hildegard Schmidt shares her compartment.
I will want to talk to her later. For now, we will concentrate on this mysterious young lady. Let's return her to her more comfortable bed.
Good idea. Pierre, locate this woman's room and fetch the doctor.
Yes, sir.
I will question her when she wakes up.
Please, let me know what you learn.
Mademoiselle Locke's compartment is 105. I suggest we return her to her more comfortable bed.
Yes, hopefully she will awaken soon.
A cup of tea with white residue at the bottom. A briefcase and a wagon-lit conductor's jacket. And the button is missing.
So, Poirot, any luck so far? If you need a break, I can ask Jean to make you some coffee. But of course you know what you're doing. It is booby-trapped, is it? Have you tried 0000? We really need to find the combination. Poirot, what if the briefcase is booby-trapped? Poirot, I'm disappointed in you. I was certain you would have it by now. Have you tried 1, 2, 3, 4? No, that's mine. I never remember my passwords, so I make them easy ones. So, Poirot, any luck so far? No, that's mine. I never remember my passwords, so I make them easy ones. Poirot, what if the briefcase is booby-trapped? Poirot, I'm disappointed in you. I was certain you would have it by now. We really need to find the combination. If you need a break, I can ask Jean to make you some coffee. Have you tried 0000? Have you tried 1, 2, 3, 4? But of course you know what you're doing. It is booby-trapped, is it? Poirot, what if the briefcase is booby-trapped? But of course you know what you're doing. It is booby-trapped, is it? We really need to find the combination. Have you tried 0...
Book. Silent like a mouse, please.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'll be quiet now. You need to concentrate. I will not utter another word. Not one.
Book. There will be another murder on the Orient Express in a moment. She has a gun.
Come, Poirot. Criminals are often known to carry one.
Ratchet was stabbed, not shot. But then why take it on the train? Her driver's license confirms her identity. She is American.
These are fake IDs. It's certain.
The stuffed animal is the same as in the photo found at the crime scene.
What a coincidence.
Mademoiselle Locke appears to have been investigating Monsieur Ratchet. Mademoiselle Locke seems very interested in our victim.
Of course. She has studied her target.
Possibly. This badge says that Joanna Locke is an American detective with the Berkshire Police Department in Massachusetts.
An American police officer? Oh. Look, she's waking up.
Thanks to you, I would not be surprised if our murder victim were also waking up.
What?
Oh, my head. What's all the yelling about?
Who are you? Give me a good reason why you should not be in handcuffs.
I can give you a reason, Book. Whose handcuffs will we use? I have none. Do you?
Well,
You are Joanna Locke, mademoiselle?
Yes, Joanna Locke. I'm a detective. Berkshire, Massachusetts Police.
I have found your credentials, mademoiselle.
And I know who you are, Mr. Poirot.
Then, if the introductions are complete, perhaps the explanations may begin.
I'll try. It's simple, really. I'm on the trail of a murderer.
had just been promoted to detective after 5 years on patrol. It was my first time on a major case. It had been a month since Daisy Armstrong was kidnapped. The Armstrongs were desperate for some sign of hope. I was there only for paperwork, to fill in some blanks. The crime was audacious. How could the kidnapper know which was the window of Daisy's room? No, they could use a ladder to reach it, and no, they could enter the room without being seen. The misspellings are clearly on purpose, and they didn't return the child when the ransom was paid. How could the child be taken with so many people in the house? I can't imagine the pain her parents felt when they realized Daisy was gone. How are they going to feel when they realize I have no answers for them? Only more questions. That's why I'm here. A damn computer glitch, or somebody pushed delete instead of save. Whatever happened, we lost the nanny's deposition, so my entire contribution to the investigation is to take it again. The phone record of the night of the kidnapping. The last call was for 911. A topographical map, often more important than a road map in these mountains.
Good evening. Colonel Armstrong?
Yes. You're the detective they phoned about.
Joanna Locke.
I don't remember you.
I'm newly assigned to the case.
It's about time more detectives were involved. My wife, Sonia, she hasn't been herself. Every day is a waking nightmare for us. Tell me you've uncovered something new.
I'm here to speak to your daughter's nanny. There was a computer problem. Her earlier statement has been lost.
Oh, I see. We had hoped. Well, do as you wish. I won't be far if you need me.
Sympathy and support for the Armstrong family during this difficult time. Thoughtful, but never enough. What a dear child. A toy train. Now here I am on a real one. Lyon, in France. What a lovely looking city.
Hello, are you Suzanne Moreau, Daisy's nanny?
Yes?
I'm Joanna Locke, a detective working on Daisy's case.
Is there any news?
I'm afraid not.
How can I help you?
I'm really sorry. I'm afraid I have to take your statement again concerning the evening of Daisy's disappearance. There was a computer problem. Your statement was accidentally deleted.
Of course. I want to help any way I can.
Tell me about that night in your own words.
The Armstrongs had a party to raise money for a museum, I think. Mrs. Armstrong is on her board. I was in charge of Daisy. I stayed with the little one all evening, playing with her and reading books to her. She couldn't sleep with all the noise and the comings and goings.
When did you notice Daisy was missing?
I was only gone 5 minutes to phone my mother. She's in the hospital. When I returned, Daisy wasn't in her bed. I thought she might have gone to look at the party, but then I saw the ransom note on her pillow. I screamed and screamed. I couldn't stop.
Did you notice anything unusual before that?
I was with Daisy all evening. Finally, she fell asleep. I didn't see anyone else or notice anything in particular.
Do you have any idea who did this?
No! I can't see who could have done such a horrible thing. The Armstrongs are such good people. like my own family.
Thank you for giving me your statement again. I'll get back to you if I have any questions.
I won't be far.
Okay, I have Suzanne's statement, but her answers need some checking. Nothing shocks me here. This information does not correspond to what Suzanne told me. Suzanne said she left Daisy alone for 5 minutes, but Mrs. Armstrong says she stayed with Daisy for a while and Suzanne did not return. That's it. No rookie mistake there. The world through the eyes of a child seems so sweet. A toy castle. When I was a kid, I had a police station and a tiny squad car with a siren that really worked.
Mrs. Armstrong, my name is Joanna Locke. I'm a detective investigating the kidnapping of your daughter. May I talk to you? When is your baby due? Mrs. Armstrong? Sonia?
I don't want to talk. I just want to see my daughter again. That's all that matters.
Poor. Nothing shocks me here. That's it. No rookie mistake there.
Mrs. Armstrong? Let me show you this.
Daisy, my little Daisy. I miss her so much. How good it is to see her face.
I can't imagine the pain you're feeling right now.
She loved her little stuffed animal, Fluffy. She took him everywhere with her. The kidnappers took it as well. They didn't have to. That means they wouldn't hurt her, doesn't it?
Every lead will be followed up. You have my word on that.
Thank you. I shouldn't lose hope. Somehow.
I know it isn't my case, but I just made a promise, and I mean to keep it.
Do you know where I can find Miss Moreau?
She's in her room. Last door on the left.
Tell me about the night Daisy was taken, especially anything about your daughter and Suzanne Moreau.
Apart from seeing to our guests, I took a moment to check on Suzanne and Daisy in Daisy's room. Suzanne wasn't there, but Daisy was asleep. I sat with her for 10 minutes or so. Suzanne didn't return while I was there, but there's no reason for her to sit there all night when Daisy is asleep. I went back downstairs.
May I come back if I have more questions?
Of course. Anything I can do.
Okay, the stories Sonia and Suzanne tell don't match. I should recheck my file and track Suzanne. That is not exactly what Suzanne told me earlier. Suzanne was on the phone more than 5 minutes. That is a great detective job.
If I understand you correctly, you left Daisy when she was not asleep?
The party was very loud. Daisy was too wound up to sleep. I read her a Motley Mule detective story to try and put her to sleep. Daisy finally fell asleep. Right before Motley Mule solved his case in the book I was reading her. I had to make a quick phone call. No more than 5 minutes. But when I came back, Daisy was gone.
Are you sure you were only gone for 5 minutes?
5, 6, what does it matter? It was very quick.
You say you were only away 5 or 6 minutes, but Mrs. Armstrong says she was alone there more like 10 minutes. And the phone record shows that you stayed on the call for more than 30 minutes, way longer than you said.
My mother is extremely ill. It's difficult for me. I may have lost track of time. When I came back, Daisy had disappeared. It must have been a coincidence.
You have to be precise, Suzanne. A little girl's life is at stake.
Why are you doing this? I didn't do anything wrong. I would never hurt Daisy.
I need to check Suzanne's story. She's panicking. Why now? What is she afraid of? Score. 1 for the good guys. The kidnapper places a ladder under the window to Daisy's room. Then he joins the party. Just one guest in the crowd. He somehow knows when Suzanne leaves the room, then sneaks upstairs. He opens Daisy's window, carries her down the ladder, and vanishes. Come on, Joanna. That's a rookie mistake. No, Joanna. That doesn't track. That's it. No rookie mistake there.
The number you have called is not in service at this time. Please hang up and dial again, or contact your service provider.
The number Suzanne called is not in service? A hospital? I should see if the Armstrongs can confirm what Suzanne told me. I should see if the Armstrongs can confirm what Suzanne told me.
I spoke with Suzanne. She was phoning her mother. That's why you didn't see her when you went to check on Daisy.
Yes, her mother. I tried to call the poor woman earlier that week, but the hospital said she's been in a medically induced coma for more than 2 months.
Suzanne told me she called her mother, but she would have known her mother was in a coma. I should see if the Armstrongs can confirm what Suzanne told.
How are you doing? Are you holding up?
You know, in the military, you're supposed to have the stiffest of upper lips. The Desert War taught me that soon enough. But this, it's difficult. Damned difficult. Harder on my good lady, of course.
Do you know where I can find Miss Moreau?
Her room is upstairs across the hall from Daisy's. She seldom leaves it.
Did you see Miss Moreau during the party?
I remember seeing her at some point, but otherwise no. I was too busy with my guests. Wear the smile, shake the proffered hand.
Ms. Moreau told me she called her mother.
Well, why not? I believe they are very close, and the poor woman is not well. She needs some experimental treatment that isn't available yet in France.
I won't be long.
Take whatever time you need.
The number you called that night is no longer in service.
I don't understand. That's the number the hospital gave me to call my mother's room.
You told me you were on the phone with your mother when Daisy was abducted.
As we said earlier, I didn't pay attention and was on the phone longer than I said. But since my mother is very ill, she had to leave her hometown, Lyon, because the treatment is not approved yet in France. She is in an hospital in Boston for a special treatment. I call her every night to check on her. When I came back, Daisy was gone. I'll never forgive myself.
I don't see anything that proves she's lying.
Are you sure you called your mother?
Yes. Every night since she was admitted in December.
Suzanne, I checked. The number you say is a hospital appears to be disconnected. That's pretty strange, don't you think?
It's always worked in the past.
The area code for Boston is 617. This was 413. That's our local area code.
She's obviously lying, but why? She seems to really care about Daisy.
Your mother had to leave a country renowned for its social security, where healthcare is affordable, and go to Boston for expensive, specialized treatment. I imagine that the cost of her care must be high. Did you think that your share of the ransom would pay for your mother's care?
How can you think that I would allow Daisy to be kidnapped for money? She's like my daughter. I could never imagine such a thing.
Her reaction seemed sincere, but I needed to see how she'd react.
Suzanne, I think you really care for Daisy. If you do, then tell me the truth. You can't have been calling your mother while she's in a coma.
My mom really is in a hospital in Boston. She really is in a coma. I wasn't calling her. I was on the phone with my boyfriend, Noah.
Why lie about it? Why are you panicking?
Because he's gone. I haven't heard from him since the night of the kidnapping. I'm afraid he's somehow connected to Daisy's disappearance. That he was just using me somehow. But I swear I talked to him. Yes, for more like 30 minutes that night. So he couldn't have kidnapped Daisy at the same time we were talking.
But he could have kept you talking so someone else could take Daisy.
Yes, you can see why I lied. Can't you? I was afraid you'd suspect me of having something to do with it. You can understand that, can't you?
Suzanne, I want to believe you, but you've made it harder to find Daisy. Do you realize that?
Oh my God. What have I done?
What's most important is not what you've done, but what you do now. Go. I'll be back to talk to you. No more lies, Suzanne. For Daisy, no more lies.
Noah. The name might lead us to that little girl. I am on this case now, whether my captain wants me to be or not. A locked diary? Let's see if I can shine some light on its secrets. A locked diary? A locked diary? A locked diary? Let's see if I can shine some light on its secrets. A card from the florist. It's signed N. Huh. What's in the glass case? Oh, big surprise. Glasses. I expect Suzanne must have gone through a lot of tissues these past weeks. An Eiffel Tower keychain, but no key. Small jewelry box. By the size, I'm guessing earrings. Why put a key in a jewelry box? That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Okay, Suzanne, let's see what you haven't told me. I can see why Suzanne didn't tell me everything about this, Noah. It's clear when he disappeared that she realized something was very wrong. I can see why Suzanne didn't tell me everything about this. It's clear.
Do you know where I can... I spoke... That's...
Yeah.
Suzanne?
Can you tell me anything about Suzanne's boyfriend?
I know she dated our chauffeur for a while. There was someone else she'd met recently, but I don't recall his name.
Know anything about Miss Moreau's boyfriend?
Her boyfriend? I know she went out with someone for a while there. More recently, I saw a man in a 4x4 who would pick her up on her nights off. He never got out of his car, just waited for her. She did seem to spend more time than usual on the phone these past few weeks, but she worked hard. We weren't going to begrudge her what free time she had. Since the abduction, she keeps pretty much to herself.
I won't be long.
Take whatever time you...
I imagine these flowers must have been beautiful. Who gave them to you?
The gardener. They're getting pretty wilted, but I hate to throw them away.
Tell me about your boyfriend. Have you been together long?
My boyfriend? Why? He doesn't have anything to do with this.
Please, Suzanne, the sooner you answer my question, the sooner we'll be done.
His name is Noah Garrity. I met him at a Lunar New Year party in Great Barrington. He is a kind and caring person, although, well, I miss him. He had to go away on business. He should be back.
Nothing shocks me here. These tire tracks could well be from Suzanne's boyfriend's 4x4. Hey, I'm a pretty good detective out.
Tread marks of a four-wheel drive vehicle were found outside the garden on the night of the kidnapping. Noah drives one, doesn't he? Where is he, Suzanne? If you know anything more about him, you have to tell me.
I know what you're thinking, but it's impossible. He was very nice to me. He never did anything to make me suspicious. We went out to eat, to the movies. Just like a normal couple. He's not the only man in the Berkshires who drives that kind of car.
Where is a lie detector when you need one?
You really didn't notice anything strange about Noah until he vanished?
He could get moody at times, as if he had a lot on his mind.
Anything odd about the day you went to the movies?
No, nothing. People do that on dates.
I have to ask, Suzanne. We have to cover everything.
You mentioned the Blue Lagoon. Why?
I don't know. I never thought about it. I guess he liked the place.
That makes sense.
In your diary, you say that Noah took you to a cabin in the mountains on Valentine's Day.
You read my diary?
I'm sorry, but we have to find Daisy. We both want that. So yes, I looked in your diary.
You're right. He took me to a cabin in the woods. I waited for him in the car. He came out after a few minutes. He was very sweet and apologetic, but he never explained. We went back to the restaurant for dessert.
Did you ever go back to the cabin with him?
No, never.
So what made Noah drive all the way to a cabin in the middle of nowhere? He left her in the car. Why was he there? This is important. I know it is. I can use Suzanne's directions to the cabin and compare them to the map of the area I have in my car. Thanks to the information Suzanne gave me, I should be able to find the cabin on this map. Probably not here. That doesn't really match. Be the right place. That doesn't really match. Probably not here. That can't be the right place. That doesn't really match. That can't be the right place. Probably not here. Doesn't really match. Probably not here. That can't be the right place. Probably not here. That doesn't really match. That can't be the right place. Probably not here. Doesn't really match. got it. The cabin has to be here. I have to find that cabin. I hope I'm not too late. Okay, here is this famous cabin. Let's investigate.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Nobody. I can't just waltz in without a warrant.
Hello? Is anyone...
Nobody. I can't just waltz in without a warrant. If only I could see what's inside. Noah brought Suzanne to this dump on Valentine's Day? What a romantic. That barrel is sturdy enough. I could climb on it. Ugh, an old hunting trophy, starting to molt. Empty wine bottles. Somebody has been here lately. It's Daisy's plush toy. If Fluffy is here, the kidnapper has been here. I have to get inside this cabin. A maul for splitting wood. Perfect for attacking doors. Look at that. A broken door to investigate. No need for a warrant. Some boxes. I wonder what they were used for. Some people seem to have played here before. The stove is cold. Nobody's been here recently. A lot of tools. I guess somebody noticed the cabin was about to fall down. That's a woman's hairbrush. Did Suzanne actually come in here after all? This bottle comes from the Blue Lagoon. It's fluffy, no doubt about it. Help yourself, Joanna. You earned it. The floor is scratched and worn in this area. The sofa must have been moved a lot. Damn, it's booby-trapped. If I move, it could go off, and that countdown tells me it wants to go off anyway. Since I'm telling this story to you, Mr. Poirot, you should be able to deduce I didn't blow myself up. Let's see if I can remember how I defused the bomb. That should do it.
Wow, I wonder if that's how close it was. This would have ended my investigation right here. These rods are heading towards the canisters. It must be the trigger for the explosion. I smell a strong, sweet smell. Damn. I think these are filled to the brim with diethyl ether. Incredibly flammable. It looks like the kidnappers wanted to utterly destroy this place and whoever opened this hatch. A wooden crate? I have to open it.
Oh no. Daisy. No. I called in my discovery of the body. Then there was nothing I could do except protect the site for forensics. The forensics team arrived an hour later, cordoned off the cabin with crime scene tape, and went to work, looking for physical evidence, fingerprints, testing for fluids, DNA, any clues science can uncover.
They removed Daisy's body. The autopsy would take place in the morning. But I had one more stop to make. That night, I swore to find the monster who killed that child. Ratchet on train saw me? How? Daisy.
She was awake?
And then she collapsed again.
I take the responsibility. She was weaker than I realized.
Oh.
Lie still while I examine you. Pupils dilated?
I'm all right.
You are far from all right. You have been heavily sedated. Your pulse is very weak.
I have to finish my story. Ratchet can't escape again. Can't escape.
Have no fear of that, mademoiselle. Ratchet will not escape.
We must hear her story.
This woman needs rest. I will let you know when she is recovered enough to continue. But I warn you, it will be some time.
I understand, Doctor. Thank you.
I have completed my preliminary examination of the deceased. I think that it will interest you.
Indeed it will, and I have other witnesses to interrogate. You are right. Let's not put this poor woman in danger. There will be plenty of time for her to finish her story when she has recovered. By all means, tell me the results of your examination. I must admit I'm not right this time. I'm right again. That... Can you estimate the time of death?
Rigor mortis was advanced, but not complete. I estimate the death occurred between midnight and 2 in the morning.
That tallies with the witness statements I've collected so far. What is the cause of death?
Multiple stab wounds to the upper torso. It's odd there are no signs of a struggle. That might indicate one of the first wounds was enough to kill him.
It seems that Monsieur Ratchet had taken sleeping pills during the night.
Ah, that would explain the lack of defensive wounds.
Mr. McQueen and Mr. Masterman told me that Monsieur Ratchet didn't smoke. Can you confirm this?
I can't say without a more extensive post-mortem.
What can you tell me about the stab wounds?
I counted 12 in all. 1 or 2 are so slight as to be practically scratches. On the other hand, at least 3 would be capable of causing death. The angle of the wounds is instructive. Most appear to have been struck by a right-handed person. But you see, this one, under the right armpit, it's not a deadly blow given the depth, but a right-hander couldn't have done it. It was most certainly struck with the left hand.
So, our murderer is left-handed. No, it is more difficult than that, is it not?
As you say, Mr. Poirot, some of these other blows are just as obviously right-handed.
Do we have a first and second murderer, as the great Shakespeare would put it? The first murderer stabs his victim and exits left, turning off the light. Then a second murderer comes in the dark, does not see his or her work has been done, and stabs a dead body.
Magnificent.
You think so? I'm glad. It sounds to me a little like nonsense. Thank you, Doctor. Excellent work under difficult circumstances. Please let me know when I may speak again with Mademoiselle Locke.
Of course.
Even a smoker might innocently turn me down. Yes, that's certainly a good place to start. Yes, I have personally seen some passengers smoking. I just have to remember who they were. Yes, I suppose it's likely they will give me the list of who smokes what. That was easy. That's the right answer.